So, why the Illuminati are real, the New World Order, the power elite, whatever you want to call them, and how to explain it logically. Most people who realize the existence of the power elites or the Illuminati or the New World Order, whatever you want to call them, sound like hysterical people who are with paranoid when they try to explain its existence. But nowadays, there's so much evidence that anyone who can formulate a logical argument can convince pretty much anyone of its existence, so long as that person isn't willingly blind. Now, what is the downfall of mankind? Well, I have a theory of sociology whereby which high IQ sociopaths and narcissists obtain the most power in the world. The people that obtain the most power are people who are obsessed with obtaining as much power over other people as humanly possible. Control freaks, sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists. They succeed where normal people don't because good normal people aren't obsessed with obtaining power by any means necessary. What we can learn from history, if we study it through self education, not through the school system, which is designed to destroy your love of learning, destroy your critical thinking skills, and destroy your ability to derive any sort of lessons from history and from really any academic subject whatsoever, if you actually think as an individual, you'll realize throughout history, evil men seek power, good men do not seek power. Good men seldom seek power, I should say. Sometimes the rare self-actualized good individuals will realize the need for change and step up to fight against the corruption that has always been rampant throughout human history in pretty much every civilization. But for the most part, the sociopaths, the cutthroats, they succeed because they're willing to do anything to obtain and protect their power. They will use gaslighting. They will use the manipulative powers of being a sociopath, where they use psychological warfare and just everyday interactions in order to always get the upper hand. They will use propaganda. They become masters of propaganda. They take the helm of the intelligence agencies. They rise up in the CIA and the FBI. They rise up in the MI6. They rise up in every intelligence agency of power throughout the world because they're willing to do what it takes to succeed. And we can see through Pedophile Island, Bohemian Grove, Skull and Bones, Club of Rome. I mean, Pedophile Island was pretty much the proof of the existence of the so-called Illuminati. Now, whether they call themselves the Illuminati or not is really irrelevant and immaterial. I don't think they call themselves the Illuminati. I don't think they call themselves the New World Order. Let's just call them the power elite. As per C. Wright Mills' theory of the power elite, he was a sociologist. If you read any Sociology 101 textbook, if you read the chapter on power distribution, one of the theories is that there is a power elite who control most of the corporate and governmental power positions of power in the world and control most of the geopolitical and economic activities throughout the world. Of course, C. Wright Mills didn't go so far as to explain the fact that most of those people in positions of power are sociopaths and psychopaths who love raping children on private islands and engage in pagan rituals at places like Bohemian Grove. Now, why do they do these things? Well, if you're like, nouveau riche, new rich, and you're climbing up into the business, if you're someone like Elon Musk who rises from, obscurity into a very high level position of power, if you want to become part of the inner circle, you have to go through a series of hoops. One of those hoops is like engaging in like a pagan ritual to show that you're not a Christian, you don't have any sort of religious values that would hinder your ability to be completely immoral. Of course, there are people who are not religious who have values, but one of the things that the power elite hate are people who have religious convictions because they will sacrifice themselves for the greater good. They're willing to be a martyr because of their religious beliefs. Whereas secular people with values don't tend to be willing to die for the greater good as much as Christians. I say that as someone who's agnostic. Um, and I'm not saying that Christians are all better than anybody else or anything else. Um, I'm just saying that, you know, obviously they are a group that the power elite hates. I think there is value in Christianity, but I think most Christians um, just like to think they're good people and don't really have values and morals. They just want to believe that they'll go to heaven, and they're not really they don't concern themselves too much with making the world a better place and stepping up to the plate to fight evil. They just think if they pray enough, that if they're aware of the Illuminati, they think if they just pray that they'll be able to defeat the power elite through prayer without putting their lives on the line. So there's plenty of Christians who are all talk and no action and don't actually hold the religious convictions. That they're all just like lip service to those values, and they're actually complete moral cowards. But there are a few rare leaders like Gandhi and Martin Luther King who, albeit who weren't perfect human beings, but really believed in their principles and were willing to die for the greater good. I mean, obviously Martin Luther King did because he was assassinated by the CIA, as was JFK. But regardless, you just have to explain like who drinks the most alcohol, alcoholics, who has the most power, people who are addicted to power. Who are people that are addicted to power? Sociopaths. You know, and there's plenty of evidence to show that they exist. I mean, show people the Bohemian Grove footage, show them the articles of Bohemian Grove, show them the stuff on Pedophile Island. Say like, why weren't there any convictions? You know that there was videotape. You know that there was evidence there at Pedophile Island that we don't have any access to. All that was covered up by the Justice Department because the victims identified congressmen, governors, former heads of state like Bill Clinton, members of parliament, diplomats, princes from Saudi Arabia, people with a lot of power. And of course, Epstein was either murdered or, some people think they got Epstein out of the prison and replaced the body, but I really think they just killed Epstein to keep him quiet. The power elite. So anyway, I mean, it's just straightforward. The thing is, the lesson to take away from this is, narcissists, for example, succeed a lot because they have indomitable self-confidence. Like, they don't have any shame about their past. They don't beat themselves up. They believe they deserve to succeed no matter what, and they have an unshakable confidence that they will succeed if they work hard and they push themselves and the others around them in order to succeed. Okay? I could give some examples, but people might get offended. Sometimes narcissists can do good things if they want to go down in history as like, as a good person. Sometimes narcissists will actually do benevolent things. A lot of you know who I'm talking about. But most narcissists are only concerned with themselves and not don't really care about their legacy because they believe victors will write the history anyway. So they just join with the New World Order if they become really powerful. What good men need to do is have that same confidence in themselves, and they need to step up into positions of power. I mean, that's why I'm running for office. That's why I'm encouraging other people to run for office. We need to take back our states. And if we can take back our states, if we take back power at the state level, we can resist the federal government through state nullification, and if necessary, secede from the union. All the red states need people to organize at the local level, to run for office, to run for school board, to run for mayor, to run for state representative, to run for state senator, taking full control of their state as a sovereign state and say no to the federal government when they try to enact unconstitutional laws. Fight back against the surveillance state, fight back against the captured regulatory agencies, fight back against the feds, and enforce constitutional laws within the boundaries of their states. We don't need a national divorce. We just need the red states to be headed by real red-blooded Americans who value freedom, liberty, and the basic tenets of human dignity, and who value human existence and human lives. If good people step up and do that, we have a chance to win. So that's my message. Take it or leave it. Have a good one. Subscribe, like, comment below.